This is interesting. Minus 116s, minus 120s in the marketplace. We're seeing now minus 140s across the board and 6.5s on the total.
He's not a big strikeout pitcher. His metrics look terrible, but he somehow seemingly get 5 innings, 6 innings, only 1 earned run. It's because he's a super ground ball pitcher, induces that soft and medium contact. He can essentially sap the power away from the Dodgers.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What do you make of the season that Barkley had last year as he piled on the yards to get over 2,000, and what can that look like this year?
His year could have been much better with different circumstances here. So he was great. I assume he'll be great again. You want to take Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't have an issue with it, but, Barkley, you're going to lose the tush-push.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with 1 entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Big Fish is the best player in the WNBA. She is running away with the MVP award. Why is that? Caitlin Clark, injured. Asia Wilson, not playing at Asia Wilson level, but it's more about the fact about what's around her has been an issue. So to me, Fish is almost like the MVP because everyone else has gone down in some way, shape, or form.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Going the Big 12. Welcome to hour number 3, our third and final, live right here on this Tuesday on the early line on SportsGrid. He is Donnie, I am Ben. One more hour to go. Plenty of baseball breakdowns on this full slate Tuesday around the bigs, and also plenty of football conversations as 30 of 32 NFL teams report to camp by the end of today. Some have already reported to training camp. Plenty of others join the fold on this Tuesday. 2 more to go to round out the entirety of the National Football League tomorrow. It will be the Atlanta Falcons, and in Latrobe, the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is a month of football and plenty of contract conversations, DRS, to be had here on the early line, even in hour number 3.
I like the day-to-day of the, races that you get from the quarterbacks here in training camps. Also the beat writers, who looks good, who doesn't look good. Interception tallies for quarterbacks, which quarterbacks are performing well in the red zone as opposed to 7 on 7s. So when you take a look at the totality of football, it's nice that it's here, but we do hit a little bit of a lull. Like next week, again, Thursday night, I am going to be excited to watch just because football is back on our TV, the pageantry, the Hall of Fame. It's all good stuff. Then you want to see like your favorite team. Like for me, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to see them play in preseason game number 1. But I got to tell you this too. Like Zach Taylor, when they had that luncheon yesterday for the Bengals, they've started slow over the past couple of years. You know what Zach Taylor actually said? We're looking forward to playing more of our starters in the preseason, which I do agree with. Nobody wants to lose a starter playing a meaningless football game. I get that. But football, you have to ramp up to opening day, where some people just, hey, you know what? We'll see where it is. We're healthy opening day. Oh, no, it takes us 2 to 3 games to get our legs under us and our wind here. You want to build those calluses up, not by doing stupid Oklahoma drills in the middle of the summer with superstar athletes, but you do need to play football and get your win by playing in some of these preseason games. So if that's the case in Cincinnati, that's helpful. Yeah. You just need these superstar players to actually be playing in those games here, which means they're not on the sideline because you want them to be. They're on the sideline because they want more money.
Is it a lack of inactivity, DRS, or a lack of activity throughout camp and the preseason that has been holding the Bengals back? Probably, but it's also probably due to the fact they're not getting paid in the way that they should by ownership in Cincy and that front office. And we are seeing that on display once again for the Bengals. This has been a continued and almost tried and true story the last 3, 4, 5 years, and certainly the significant stars for Cincinnati the last 3. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, and now throw in the first-round rookie in Shamar Stewart. So who will play for the Bengals this season? Will we see Trey Hendrickson? Will we see Shamar Stewart? Will we see both? Will we see neither? We wanted to hear from all of you. It's time now for Fade the Public. 4 options for you at SportsGrid on Twitter. Who will play for the Bengals this season? Trey Hendrickson himself, Shamar Stewart himself, both or neither. Most of the public, more than 48% of the votes, DRS, saying both will eventually play for the Bengals at a certain time this season. Probably from the start, I would assume that people voting both are thinking. At least that's the way I looked at this question. But the second most selected is neither. That the bad blood between Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals front office, that the default clauses added into Stewart's rookie deal are too much to overcome. Which way did Donnie vote in the Fade the Public poll?
I voted for both. Now, hear me out on this. Cooler heads should prevail. Like, you ever hear the term meet me halfway? Like, we're at that point now.
Yeah.
Like, for Shamar Stewart, meet me halfway. If you wind up on death row, yeah, we're probably not going to pay you, and that clause is going to be out. If you do a stint like Rashee Rice for 30 days, we'll still pay you. Trey Hendrickson, you're not going to get all that money in years that you want. You know what? You're making 17. Let's bump you up to 22 million. Play this year. I guarantee we'll trade you next offseason. Meet me halfway. That's the only way around at this point right now. So I voted both, but I'm actually surprised that it's not who won't play for the Bengals this season, like both would be in the lead. I'm surprised the public, including myself, did back it at close to 50%, but I do think that's right. Football players don't want to miss opportunities on getting paychecks. Trey Hendrickson's going to make a lot of money regardless this year. He doesn't want to miss out on that money because you can't make that back. And the same thing with Shamar Stewart. Does he really want to go back to college where then if he does play college football, he's now under contract once again with the Bengals for another year on his draft rights? Or does he want to just sit out an entire football season and reappear in the draft? Like, that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So I think both of them will play for the Bengals this year.
I also voted both. I think ultimately these deals will be done, even if it takes a few weeks into training camp, and we're having these conversations on August 22nd, not July 22nd. Let's clarify a few things here. First, for Shamar Stewart. He is not eligible, DRS, to play college football this upcoming year. Anytime you declare for the NFL draft, you forego your collegiate eligibility. He would have to sue the NCAA and the powers to be to get more college eligibility. That probably wouldn't happen and probably would not happen in a timely fashion for him to play at Texas A&M. Much has been reported that he is working out at A&M facilities in College Station. He can work out there. He cannot play for Texas A&M in 2025 unless legal action was taken. That probably not likely. What you mentioned, though, as well, Shamar Stewart can just sit out the entirety of this season. I believe it is by week 11. If the rookie contract is not signed, it's over by that point. He would have to re-enlist or re-enroll or redeclare for the 2026 NFL draft. He is eligible to be selected by the 31 other NFL teams, not named the Bengals. And does Cincy get some compensatory pick because of it? No. They're screwed, losing their leverage in that situation as well. As for Trey Hendrickson, reports, DRS, are saying the Bengals and Hendrickson still remain very far off in terms of the financials of what Hendrickson is asking for and what the Bengals front office has offered, namely in guaranteed money. Again, four edge rushers around the NFL make more than $35 million per year. Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt in reverse order, all signing their extensions this offseason. In terms of the guaranteed money, TJ Watt just got $108 million. Myles Garrett, more than $123 million guaranteed. Danielle Hunter, $54 million guaranteed, but that's only around a 2-year deal, if I am not mistaken. And Max Crosby, $91.5 million guaranteed. So Trey Hendrickson not happy with the guaranteed money that Cincinnati is offering at this moment. He told Monty Teo, who is live on air right now for Good Morning Football of the NFL Network, that the Bengals offer is atrociously low. So still some negotiations have to find that middle ground, DRS, as you were alluding to.
Yeah, and it's hard to butt heads with the Bengals because, like, it's not a game of chicken. It's like, oh, last man to blink. The Bengals won't blink. If you sit out, they will make more money, and that's their end goal, not championships. And let me count them on my finger. How many fingers do you have that you can count the Bengals championships? How about a fist? It means nothing. They have no championships for the Bengals because of how they run their franchise. Instead of maximizing their talent, they maximize the bottom line at that point. Those are the issues that you have. Like, Trey Hendrickson is deserving of a new contract, but they'll tell you, oh, you get what you're paid, and that's what it is. And also, an organization that sets the precedent year after year and doesn't cave because they figure it's better for the negotiations down the line. Well, if I cave to Trey Hendrickson now, a superstar is going to come along and hold us again over the rail saying, I need to get more money, which is not the way you're supposed to think about it. Superstar players can do that because they help your team win football games, and they're asking for the money they deserve. If you don't want to pay them, that's on you, but that's going to suffer once you get back to the football field. The bank, like Carson Palmer, hey, I don't like to be here. We'll sit on the sideline. We won't pay you. We'll save money even if it hurts our football team. They don't care. It's what they do.
Yeah, we'll see when that leverage gives out. More on the early line next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The WNBA All-Star break is over. Not all that long of a break. Thursday, Friday, Friday and Saturday activities in Indianapolis. Back into action on this Tuesday. We've got 5 games that starts the second half of this WNBA season. And DRS, we have shared so many times the point of the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. Well past the midway point of the season. This much closer to that true halfway point in the longest regular season we have ever seen in the W, now extended to 44 games. Most teams playing around 21, 22, 23, 24 games. So it really is that second half beginning on this Tuesday. A reminder and an update of the odds. We start in those championship prices. Our reigning champs, the New York Liberty, a plus 150 favorite. Who do they beat? In a 5-game WNBA final set in an overtime thriller, and the winner take all game 5? The Minnesota Lynx, the best team in the WNBA this year, a 2-to-1 price for Minnesota, the only team at the 20-win benchmark so far this season. The Phoenix Mercury have been a pleasant surprise. They have a 6-to-1 price in the third best record here at the break around the WNBA. And of course, a ton of focus now in the second half of health for Caitlin Clark and what it means for the Indiana Fever. 9-to-1 price before you get to the Atlanta Dream, and a drop off, but Atlanta has been really good this year, rounding out the top 5 at 19-to-1.
Yeah, it looks like the top 4 teams do have a legitimate chance to, claim the championship.
Yeah.
You see the Liberty plus 150, the Lynx 2-to-1, the Mercury 6-to-1. Then you are getting a cheaper price on the Fever because we don't know the version of Caitlin Clark that we are getting back. But there is some motion that you can say, you know what? What happens if Caitlin Clark does come back and she's playing like her MVP self? You get that bump up, and the other team's certainly equally as talented here to sort of knock off, let's just say, the Liberty if they can go back-to-back at this point. But I'm interested in the second half of the season, but I need Caitlin Clark to come back sooner than later to sort of help us, because once we had football season. By the way, when is the WNBA finals? Like, what's the time frame on that? Is it late August? Is it September? Like when? No, October. Like I don't even know when the finals are.
It is the regular season concludes on September 11th. The playoffs begin on September 14th. So October 19th, I believe, is some of the possible starting date for the WNBA finals. That is now a 7-game series. Speaking of extensions around the WNBA, longest ever regular season at 44 games, now a 7-game set in that WNBA championship series. So yes, it will go into October. More on the sports calendar. Of course, a lot of focus, DRS, on the NFL by that time. As we look at the New York Liberty, some very positive health news for New York as they get ready tonight in Barclays to take on the Caitlin Clark-less Indiana Fever. CeCe about to miss her 7th game due to this groin injury, her 12th overall this season. But for New York, Jonquel Jones, Double J, one of the veteran bigs and one of the best to do it in the WNBA, set to return. The Liberty with Jonquel Jones on the floor this year, 8-1. They got off to a 9-0 start. They then dropped 6 of their next 9 games. They entered the All-Star break, DRS, on a 3-game win streak, 15-6. That second best record for New York. The final win before the break, the Liberty crushing Indiana by nearly 20 without Clark in the lineup for the Fever. An 11.5-point spread in favor of the Liberty tonight at home.
Yeah, where the schedule goes wrong, but not because they made errors there. Like, hey, let's have a great matchup before the All-Star break. We have the All-Star game, then right back out of the All-Star break, we have a marquee matchup. That's not going to be the case. They're probably going to get absolutely steamrolled again. But talking about the WNBA, I just wish I could be the commissioner of that league as well. You're telling me the WNBA is going to have their playoffs where nobody's going to pay attention? Like, we like the WNBA right now because there's not much going on. You're talking about in the teeth of NFL season, in the teeth of college football season, Major League Baseball playoffs underway at that point, and you're going to play a 7-game series that people are going to be asleep at the wheel by game number 3, wondering why it's so long at that point. Just a missed opportunity from them, but they're going to play this out. It is the longest season, but they got to figure out something more. If somehow they can have a season that ends the last week of August, they will make way more money than what they're going to do now, where you will have no eyeballs on this league whatsoever come October.
Yeah, the PGA Tour, right, condensed its schedule, moved around its playoff structure to really end before the NFL season begins. That could be some contractual TV rights or however that played into it. Maybe that's some conversation for the WNBA. With many questions about the future of this league, of course, are front and center. Let's look at the MVP odds. Nafisa Collier, who had 36 points and 9 boards to lead her team to an All-Star victory on Saturday in Indianapolis and won the All-Star game MVP, is a minus 750 favorite to win the regular season MVP for the first time in her career. Really, DRS, it would take a catastrophic injury for Big Fee not to win it. We expect Nafisa Collier to get it done. Her Lynx in action tonight. Now a 15.5-point home favorite against the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese on an absolute heater entering the All-Star break, but Chicago as a squad 7-15, third worst record in the WNBA. Again, the top 8 of now a 13-team WNBA reach the postseason. Minnesota DRS in regular season games, perfect at home in the Twin Cities, 12-0.
Yeah, maybe it looks like a run-over type game, and also it's crazy because you are Angel Reese. At least you get to work on your game. Extra rebounds, extra points, take whatever shots you want because it doesn't matter. Your team absolutely stinks at this point, but the Lynx certainly shouldn't take this easy. And some of the betting, indicators that we take a look like Major League Baseball, they were off for a while. How do these ladies hit the court? Are they focused? Are they just giving up? Or, okay, party at the All-Star break. My team's a Sky. We stink. We're not going anywhere. What do I care about this game at this point? We're done for the season. Let's see what happens in some of these, and we'll see if some of these teams can cover. Because that first couple games of, Camp Day, you saw 15, 16-point favorites getting upset by double digits. I want to see what happens tonight in these games.
In DRS, there's no doubt that they were having fun this weekend in Indianapolis. The Stud Buds live stream really showed how the party atmosphere continued all weekend long. The Mystics a 3-point favorite. Washington and Las Vegas, the Aces in action tonight as a slight favorite against the Dream, are both 11-11. Tied for the final 2 spots, though, of the WNBA playoff picture. Las Vegas, who entered last year, winners of 2 consecutive WNBA crowns, not nearly as good this year. 21-1, 6th best price to win the WNBA championship. Let's set the stage for a Tuesday around Major League Baseball. Next.
Need help with your NFL picks? Get NFL insider knowledge from Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden injury advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, player props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Get a free week now with promo code SportsGrid at SickScore.com.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Want to play roulette? Here's a tip. European roulette has a lower house edge than American style. The lower the house edge, the better shot you have at winning. Most online casinos offer European roulette. So, if I were you, I'd get spinning. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The hottest team in Major League Baseball is now the best team in Major League Baseball. That's the Milwaukee Brewers. They have won 11 consecutive games, and they are the first team in the National League to reach 60 wins. 60-40, the official record for the Brew Crew. That is one fewer loss than the Detroit Tigers, the other team at 60 wins already this year. That means the Brewers have the best record in all of the bigs. 11 straight wins, hoping for 12 in a row. The Brewers on the road tonight in Seattle. And who do you turn to? The All-Star and the rookie, Big Miz. Jacob Mizorowski gets the start today for the Brew Crew against Logan Gilbert on the other side for the Mariners. Really good pitching matchup, DRS, reflected in the total. It's just 6.5 now live. And the fact the M's are still a favorite at minus 126. Yesterday, Milwaukee, an ever so slight favorite with Brandon Woodruff on the bump for the Brew Crew. Today, a slight underdog in looking for their 12th consecutive victory. Will the win streak continue for Milwaukee in the Northwest?
Yeah, last 60 days, we take a look at Logan Gilbert and Jacob Mizorowski. Very good. 2.95 xFIP for Gilbert. Mizorowski's got a 3.14. So you saw yesterday, hey, one team scored 6 runs. That's an easy over. No, it wasn't. The other team scored 0 runs yesterday, and that was the Mariners. So my expectation is, yeah, you probably will get 6 or less runs in this game. It is hard from an iframe to bet that because you just break it down. So, okay, each team gets 3 automatically lost at that point, and one team did get 6 yesterday. So maybe if another team today just gets 1 run on top of the 6, that hits that total, but it does play into an under. There's no doubt about it. The one thing with Logan Gilbert struggling a little bit with right-handed bats over the past 53 batters he's faced, but on the season, that hasn't been an issue. And Mizorowski's still making his way through. He hasn't faced the Seattle Mariners yet, so they haven't seen him. He does struggle as a right-handed pitcher with left-handed bats. You take a look at that left-handed bat in the lineup, Cal Raleigh, but how about this? Raleigh, over the past 30 days against right-handed pitching, a 123 ISO and a 280 weighted on base percentage hasn't worked out in his favor. A Rosarena, Polanco, and Canzone have really good numbers against right-handed pitching, but it's a tough ballpark to hit in. It's 2 good baseball teams that don't really have exciting players at the plate outside of, let's just say, a Christian Yelich and a Cal Raleigh. I just told you, Cal Raleigh's not having a great season, or last 30 days, I should say, against right-handed pitching. I think this game stays under the total. I will say, though, sooner than later, these streaks have to come to an end. We're just riding on top of it. I'm going to say to myself, give me Seattle today again, once again, minus 124. I'll take that price, but a lean also on that under 6.5. Tough game to handicap with those low numbers.
Big Miz made a lot of headlines, DRS, by being named a National League All-Star, but I thought the young rookie for Milwaukee handled it well. Hey, they're not mad at me. I wasn't the guy that held out Christopher Sanchez. It wasn't my choice to be put in this spot. He has been great during his rookie season. This is his 6th career start. That was one of the issues people had trouble with making him an all-star. We expect him to be really good today on the bump against Seattle. As for Big Dumper, still the MLB leader in terms of home runs. No homers for Cal Raleigh in his last 7 games. No homers since returning from the All-Star break as well. The Mariners lost last night to Milwaukee 6-0. Because of it, the Brewers now have a game lead in the National League Central in front of the Cubbies. Houston snapped Arizona's 4-game win streak yesterday in the desert. The Astros back to a 5-game advantage atop the American League West. The rookie and the vet today in a crucial divisional duel this week in Toronto. We head up to the 6th. It is Max Scherzer, 40 years old, year number 18, making start 463 in his career against the Yankees' Cam Schlittler, who gets out there for career start number 2. The 24-year-old rookie for New York. The Blue Jays, an ever so slight home favorite, DRS, looking to win yet another game against the Yankees and maybe extend that divisional lead to 5 games in front of the Pinstripes.
Yeah, you need a win for the Yankees at all costs, and you're going to a guy that doesn't have very much Major League Baseball experience going up against Max Scherzer, but also this isn't the Max Scherzer of a decade ago. He is certainly hittable, and you take a look at that number as a 9, say, boy, it takes 10 runs to get that. Last night we only saw 5 total runs. Only run scored by the Yankees yesterday was a solo blast by Giancarlo Stanton, but there's 18 batters anticipated to play in this game tonight, as always, right? You look at Ernie Clement. His weighted on base percentage is 248. Every single other player in that lineup today for the Toronto Blue Jays is sky high on the weighted on base percentages against right-handed pitching, which Schlittler is a right-handed pitcher. Let's just go over quickly to the New York Yankees and take a look at them going up against right-handed pitching. If we remove Anthony Volpe's 197 weighted on base percentage, everybody else sky high weighted on base percentages, Ben. So 16 out of the 18 batters sky high, 2 pitchers that are questionable to me. We should get double-digit runs today if we're just reading this game correctly.
Yesterday, a little bit low scoring. 4-1 the victory for the Jays. Plenty more around the
Double
big
that
next.
up.
Your approach with Marion Hampton is if you're going to draft him aggressively and early, you better be patient because it might take half a season before he really takes over this backfield, and it might never happen this year, depending on how Harris performs. Gadsden and Disley so far not fantasy relevant at this time. Again, a more run-heavy offense. Hampton and Najee Harris, very intriguing, but the ADP, I think, on both of them is slightly off.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Big Fish is the best player in the WNBA. She is running away with the MVP award. Why is that? Caitlin Clark injured. Asia Wilson not playing at Asia Wilson level, but it's more about the fact about what's around her has been an issue. So to me, Fish is almost like the MVP because everyone else has gone down in some way, shape, or form.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I think he's on easily the back nine of his career at this point. A lot of fans I see on social media saying, "Oh, we got to sign this guy. We got to sign this guy." Something left here with Noah Fant? What gives?
I think they were ready to move on from him as a veteran, but I think Fant is like a number 2 tight end for a contender who can play a lot. I think that would interest me, and I almost been looking around trying to find a good landing spot for him, and I've settled on what if he were to go back to the Broncos and sort of back up Evan Ingram.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
A full slate Tuesday around Major League Baseball continues here on the Early Line. Yesterday, DRS in the opener of a midweek set at the bank between the Phillies and the Red Sox. Philadelphia booked as greater than a $2 favorite with Zach Wheeler, one of the NL Cy Young co-favorites, on the bump. Today, nearly a $2 favorite as Christopher Sanchez makes the start for Philadelphia. Christopher Sanchez since the start of June. 8 starts, 55 and a third innings pitched, 52 Ks, 4-1 record, 1.63 ERA. He has gone at least 6 innings in all 8 of those outings. Wonderful research there from our producer extraordinaire, Joe Frieso. Minus 198 price in favor of the Fightins. The over-under stands at 8.5. The Phillies won yesterday in 10 innings based on catcher's interference. Will it be another close call tonight?
It will be another close call because you take a look at the pitching mismatch on Christopher Sanchez has been wonderful. You just take a look at his starts over the past, let's just go 30 days just to keep it close. A 3.7 walk percent rate, you love that. A 28% K rate, you love that. ISO power number against, which means extra base hits, 0.30, which is phenomenal. Weighted on base percentage against 234. Ground ball percentage, 67%. So if the ball's not in the air and you're getting a lot of strikeouts, not a lot of free passes, Ben, that's not a lot of opportunities to score runs. Just like yesterday, a very good outing and performance by Zach Wheeler and the Phillies bullpen. I expect the same things today. But from a Phillies perspective, they should be able to hit Richard Fitts. However, his last 30 days, K rate 25%. You like that. Walk rate under 6%. That's great. ISO against 149. You'll take that. And this is a Phillies lineup with a lot of easy outs right now. Realmuto, Marsh, Kemp, Kepler, Stott. All wastes of space for the most part, even though over the past 30 to 45 days, you've seen a little bit better out of JT Realmuto. Just the power numbers aren't there. So for me, I look at that total of 8.5 is who's getting to 9 runs? Like, is it multiple home runs by Bryce Harper that powers you? Maybe so. But if I look at Sanchez being a good pitcher on rest, which helped out yesterday with Zach Wheeler, and let's just say it does the same thing, he should give up what? 1 to 2 earned runs over 6 innings. And then from the Phillies' perspective, 3 or 4 runs is a massive night, it feels like, for their offense. So instead of taking the side again, which was 200 or better yesterday, which the Phillies did win, but it took the extra innings, I look at that total again tonight at 8.5 and say, I don't see 9 runs tonight. I just don't.
DRS, 178 total runs scored by Philadelphia since the start of June. That is the 9th fewest in all of Major League Baseball. It is part of the reason, despite the win yesterday, Philadelphia is just an even 500 since the start of June, but they maintain that half-game lead in the NL East in front of the New York Mets. Both teams victorious with a rally yesterday. The Arizona Diamondbacks, had a 4-game win streak entering yesterday. Enter Bryce Matthews. 2 home runs for the rookie 10 days after his MLB debut, 5 RBIs. The Scros rough up Zach Gallen in Phoenix, and today Houston looks to do the same. Framber Valdez gets the start for the Astros. DRS, Houston a road favorite tonight out in the desert. Total stands at 8.5. What do you like in this desert duel?
Be like, watch out, it's a trap. I mean, minus 126. I'm getting Framber Valdez second on the card today in pitchers with an xFIP of 2.73. His last 60 days in Major League Baseball, 1.86 ERA. You got to be kidding me. You take a look at Eduardo Rodriguez, not nearly as good a pitcher. His last 96 batters he's faced, how about an ISO of 241 and a weighted on base percentage of 415? Now, in the lineup tonight, you're not going to get a single left-handed batter going up against Eduardo Rodriguez, which he actually has struggled with lefties this year, but to righties over the season. 290 batters he's faced, a 217 ISO and a 372 weighted on base percentage. And it's not even like, oh, well, he's been much better as of late. It's still a 206 ISO and a 359 weighted on base percentage against. I don't understand what price point I'm getting in this game, but I'll fall for it. Give me the Houston Astros at the minus 126 price with Framber Valdez on the mound to pick up another victory.
You know what's interesting, DRS? The line's starting to work a little bit more in favor of the Stros. Earlier this morning, right before this segment, minus 118. Again, it feels like a great price on Valdez, who has been incredible for the Houston Astros as of late. A little bit fishy, perhaps, that it's not minus 148 or something of the sort. Let's continue going around Major League Baseball. The Dodgers winning their first game post All-Star break last night. 5-2 with Shohei Ohtani getting the start against the Minnesota Twins. Tonight, the Dodgers a hefty favorite again. Minus 2.5. Yoshi Yamamoto gets the start against Minnesota. 8.5 is the total. 5-2 the victory for LA. Good news for Los Angeles. Freddie Freeman, despite getting plunked on the wrist on Sunday, was out there yesterday. A little bit of skepticism, perhaps, DRS, for you around this Dodgers 1-9. What do you think they deliver tonight against the Twins?
Yeah, I think we should be able to bounce back with some runs. You take a look at Woods Richardson, his last 30 days here, 77 batters that he's faced. Now, he does have a pretty good ISO at 129 and a weighted on base percentage of 248. Not a big strikeout guy, but hear me out on this too. Like, ground ball percentage for him is 27%. That's not good. Fly ball percentage, 46%. So if we just extrapolate and say 50% of those baseballs are not on the ground, they're in the air, you can do damage, which includes hitting balls into the seats. Hard hit percentage over his last 77 batters, Ben, it's 50%. That means one guy doesn't do so well, the next guy cracks him. Barrel rate, which is something we talk about sometimes to right-handed batters, is 12%. That means the most solid contact you can absolutely get. Here's the issue. I look at that lineup today, and let's just say the estimated lineup for the Dodgers. Ohtani looks great. Will Smith looks great. Conforto looks great. Everybody else looks terrible in that lineup. Now, flip it over to Minnesota. Much more palatable here. You have ISO power numbers all the way through that are plus against right-handed pitching, but understand this about Yamamoto. His numbers are really good on the season and over the past 30 days. ISO power number against 086, which means you're not getting extra base hits, so you have to stream together base hit after base hit after base hit. You take a look at his fly ball percentage. To lefties, it's 14%. Not bad at that point here. So for me, the Dodgers should bounce back, but it's a minus 230 price. And what I mean by bounce back is playing better baseball than they have, like you say, over the past 2 weeks. So 8.5 total. It's a tough one. Dodgers really overpriced at minus 230. Might just be a pass for me at this point, but I do think the Dodgers win. They have the better pitcher on the mound, but come on now, Dodgers. That offense doesn't look all that good coming into tonight.
No, it does not, DRS. 56-32 for LA on July 3rd, battling with the Detroit Tigers for the best record in baseball at that time. They've dropped 10 of their last 13. Still 59-42. Still a 3.5 game lead atop the National League West. Only a few games now behind, a game and a half, the Milwaukee Brewers for the best record in the National League. Things are okay for the Dodgers, just a little bit of a downturn at this moment. Speaking of greats at Chavez Ravine to once occupy the bump, a man by the name of Dick Mountain, Rich Hill. I'm not even kidding. He wore that as a jersey once. Rich Hill, a former Dodger who spent 4 years of his long Major League Baseball career, now will start today inside Wrigley Field for the 14th team in his MLB career, that being the Kansas City Royals. 14 teams for Rich Hill, ties an MLB record alongside Edwin Jackson, also former Dodger, I do believe, as the most teams played for in a single MLB career. At the age of 45, Rich Hill gets the start today in Chicago, where he began his MLB career 2 decades ago, back in 2005. Donnie, obviously the Cubbies a pretty hefty favorite to welcome Rich Hill back to the bump inside the friendly confines. What can we expect out of the 45-year-old lefty?
Yeah, trying to take a look here and say with Rich Hill, I'm going to go to his, let me just go to his game log for the minor league system. The reason I want to bring that up is I just want to see how many innings that he's actually pitching at this point. So let's see. So we guys, last start was 2 innings, 5 innings, 4, 4, 6, 5. So he's actually had almost a dozen starts here. His ERA in the minors is a 5.22, and he's getting up 11 home runs and 25 walks over those appearances. So I look at the 9 myself and say, Boyd has actually been decent, but you got 12 runs or double-digit runs, let's just say, from the Royals yesterday. They're all lined up against as right-handed bats today. I think they can get some power shots off. And also, for Rich Hill, this is a complete bullpen game. Give me the over 9. There's too much uncertainty. Rich Hill, even if he's really good, Ben, that's like 3 in the third innings pitched here. Give me the over at Wrigley today.
Yesterday, Kansas City played at 12 to hammer the Cubs 12-4. Chicago now a game back of Milwaukee in the NL Central. Still the slight favorites to win the division. More Bigs baseball next.
Hey sports fans, here's a tip to keep in mind the next time you make your betting picks. According to research, home field advantage is no joke, especially in those playoffs. In the NBA and the NFL postseason, the home team typically has a 64% shot at victory. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I don't have a gaming unit, but I might get one just because of that CFL game. And I'll play with Bano online and kick his ass. He could be the Ticats, and I'll be the BC Lions.
He could be the Ticats.
I'll be the Red Blacks. I'll be throwing bombs. I'll be throwing bombs.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Devin Booker, do you know, in those 2 years, actually makes more in his salary than the entire Miami Marlins payroll this year, which I think is at like 62 million. That's a 72.5. I'm just doing the math really quickly. So one guy is worth more than 25, but we know how bad the Miami Marlins is. But hey, I just talk hoops.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The race for the top spot in the National League East continues. Both the Mets and the Phillies lost their opening weekend set right out of the All-Star break, but both victorious last night in the opening game of a midweek set for both clubs. The Phils in extras. The Mets were trailing 4-zip after 3 innings, responded all the way to take out the LA Angels at home. Tonight, the Amazons, a hefty favorite against the Halos once again, -172. Total is 9. It's a pretty hefty juice on the over. Offense expected, DRS, tonight at Citi Field.
We should get some of that, too. And you take a look at, it's usually a fade guy right off the bat. You say it's Kyle Hendricks. Here's the problem with him. He doesn't strike anybody out. He doesn't walk anybody. So, you really should get him in some good circumstances to really, take some shots to go yard and doubles and ISO power numbers. But his hard contact rate is very low, and it's hard to barrel him up, which is one of those sneaky, sloppy pitchers. Like Jose Quintana always comes to mind. Like, how does this guy get anybody out? But he just frustrates batters. But if we go to the other side, Montas, who coming back to the Mets, better expectations were supposed to be over his first 81 at-bats, batters that he's faced. That hasn't happened. But look at that Angels lineup. It's fun, man. Neto, Chanuel, you take a look at Trout, Ward, Adele, Moncada, and Soler, all high ISOs and weighted on base percentages here. I look at that total, 9 runs. They probably should get that, but I see that -174. I'm not laying that with Frankie Montas today. This game's going to be touch and go. Give me the coin flip. I'll take the Angels at a +146 price because I think that lineup for the Angels will show up tonight. 75-degree temperatures there at Citi Field, 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left field. I think they can get the Montas early. We'll just see if that bullpen can hang around, but this is a feisty bunch right now for the Angels. Not taking them at a +150 or so price.
Yeah, DRS, they really are. They're only 2 games sub 500, 49 and 51. Now, are they a playoff team? They're 4 games back of a wild card spot in the American League, but they're going to be that pesky kind of side with a ton of young talent that continues to contribute at the dish, as DRS just alluded to. 2 teams right now kind of hitting the skids. It's been the story of the year for the Atlanta Braves, and certainly is the story as of late for the San Francisco Giants, DRS. The G-Men are riding a 6-game losing skid. They are now 3.5 back of their divisional foes in the Padres for that 3rd and final National League wild card spot. The Braves, despite a win in their opening game against San Francisco yesterday, are still 11 games sub 500. 9-5 the victory, though, for Atlanta in the A. Hayden Birdsong, the youngster for SF, got the start yesterday. Did not record a single out, DRS. No outs. Gave up 5 earned runs in the opening frame before he was ousted, and the Braves did not look back. High-scoring game, though, yesterday inside Truist Park, exactly a week after a high-scoring All-Star game, seeing a total of 9.5. Will the offense continue tonight in the ATL?
I think it might continue tonight. Now, Ralph isn't a bad pitcher, but we don't know any idea because I'm just listing Davis Daniel as the starter tonight. Last time he was out there, 7-13, which is about a week and a half ago. 4 innings pitched. Before that, just made a spot appearance in April. So he's been down in the minors. Not a lot to go off of, but not a lot of love for that San Francisco offense, and rightfully so. But 85-degree temperatures with the wind blowing out in Atlanta should certainly help. Atlanta's bats have really come alive, particularly Ben against right-handed pitching over the past month. Take a look at Olsen, Acuna, Baldwin, Riley, Albies, and Murphy, all sky-high ISOs and weighted on-base percentages here going up against right-handed pitching. It's just hard to try to get a handicap on a game that's a pick-em on the line, per se, and have a pitcher. I really don't understand how much we're getting out of him, how long he's going to play in this. So for just my mindset, Ralph's been around, but that lineup for the Braves has been hot. I'll probably just lean to the -106 price on Atlanta at home at this point because it's like riding streaks and fading streaks. What gives me the right to say, okay, San Francisco's going to wake up tonight against a pitcher I don't really know all that much about? Yeah. Why not? Maybe they stay down and Atlanta's bats stay hot and they pick up another victory.
Yeah, the Giants, DRS, have dropped 7 of their last 8. They actually started July super hot, winning 6 of 8, 51 and 42, firmly in a playoff spot at that time. The Mets have been okay. The Padres have been playing pretty well. And, of course, the Brewers have been absolutely running through it. The Cubbies now, that top wild card team around the National League. Again, a full slate Tuesday as our second series post-All-Star break continues around the Bigs. DRS, the Tigers trying to play better baseball. Now a road favorite today in Pittsburgh as they are not facing off against Paul Skeens. How about some other spots on the board? We want to talk about the Chicago White Sox. 4 consecutive wins for Chicago. 4 straight on the road. They're in Tampa today taking on the Rays, but Tampa a hefty favorite at -230. The Rangers also a hefty favorite at -230. Jacob deGrom gets the start in Arlington for Texas against the Athletics.
Yeah, a couple of those games. You take a look at Tampa Bay. It was only team total I lost yesterday was on the Rays. They scored 3 runs. Should have went the opposite side. 8 runs scored by the Chicago White Sox in an easy over in that one. I'll tell you one to keep an eye on tonight, which could be fun. St. Louis and Colorado. It's Fetty and it's Blaylock. That total in that game listed at 12. Good hitting conditions, yes, but 2 bad pitchers on the mound. If there is one spot to take the Colorado Rockies, and I don't even mean to win the game, just to have some offense tonight, it's an expensive price, like 4.5, maybe a -150, -160 price on the team total. But no doubt in my mind, I think Colorado's a legitimate chance off of Fetty to get 5 runs in Colorado tonight. One of those games that probably isn't on really the Richter scale of most people tonight, but watch out for that game. Mickey Moniak and the boys, I think they hit tonight going up against Fetty.
I like that look, DRS. Let's get some runs out there. The Cardinals have stalled ever so slightly, 19 and 24 since the start of June, much like San Francisco. St. Louis, 3.5 back of a wild card spot in the National League, trailing San Diego. Tyler Kolek's brother gets the start today for the Padres against the Miami Marlins, who are actually a home favorite today in South Florida against the Pods. 23 and 20. Miami's record since the beginning of June. And DRS, of course, the Rangers right now starting to play much better baseball. The offense is waking up. Jacob deGrom is pitching at a very elite level. And if they are going to make a run to one of those wild card spots, as we alluded to, they are making up some ground. Now just 2.5 back of both the M's and the Red Sox, who are tied right now. Both Seattle 53 and 47, Boston 54 and 48 for those final 2 wild card spots. Texas turning things around pretty quick.
No, they are. DeGrom should win. JT Ginn on the mound tonight. We'll see how that one turns out. But I just saw yesterday, too, like the Athletics, like, hey, every starting pitcher we have is like on the market if you want to come and get them. So it's kind of hilarious what's going on over there in Sacktown right now.
You got to think Luis Severino's getting traded, right? He has hated every minute of being a member of the A's, despite being the highest paid A's player ever. Who knows? DRS, enjoy Moneyline. We'll talk tomorrow. More around the early line next.
TJ Watt going to the bank.
I don't remember the last time he had a sack in the last month of that season. And then in the playoffs, he did absolutely nothing. And then you're going to give him $41 million a year, $123 million, what, 108 guaranteed million guaranteed?
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
No superstar wants to go to Portland there. So you go, oh, well, Dame actually wants to be back here, and this is going to hurt us. It sort of brings back those vibes where Kobe Bryant was in L.A. Great basketball player, horrendous basketball team, but maybe he could sell a couple extra seats and be a star in the building. That's Dame. And also from a perspective of what Dame wants, Dame just doesn't care about championships, and that's okay. Like, he makes a lot of money. He can do that and continue to lose in Portland. Get out of both ways, I guess.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Again, I mean, I got to tell you, if I'm in that spot, I may do it again, George. I mean, I may take that shot again. I mean, look, when he is healthy, he's the #1 pick in fantasy, as good as Barkley or anybody else.
What I'll say about McCaffrey is this. If you draft him and he misses 9 games with injury, you have no one to blame but yourself.
I blame you. Just because I can.
Everyone else does.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We have said since its very first day that July is a football month. 30 of 32 NFL teams report to training camp by the end of today. The final two to round out the entirety of the National Football League tomorrow on a Wednesday. And throughout July, we have had a sampling and a splattering of media days around the country, talking season in college football. First up, it was the Big 12 a couple of weeks ago in Frisco, Texas. Last week down there in Atlanta, it was SEC Media Days, a 4-day extravaganza over the next 3, starting today and now already underway. ACC Media Days in Charlotte, Big 10 Media Days in Las Vegas. In fact, they've taken it out of Indianapolis and Chicago, a story for another day, but it's the expansion and a welcoming, of course, for a second straight year of the 4 West Coast schools, Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Washington. Big 10 Media Day starting this afternoon in Las Vegas. Yesterday, the preseason Big 10 media poll was released. Now, not officially through the league office often, but through Cleveland.com, the official Big 10 preseason poll. And here is how it looked. Penn State checks in at number 1. Yes, the Nittany Lions received more first-place votes, 11th, than that of the reigning national champs, Ohio State, who had 10 first-place votes. So Penn State gets the nod over the Buckeyes. Oregon at 3, Illinois at 4, and Michigan with a single first-place vote checking in at number 5. Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, USC, and then you see the other 9 teams on your right side filling out the back half. Of course, you have to look at the top. Penn State with the great weight of expectation entering year number 12, I believe it is, of the James Franklin era in State College. And deservedly so, that Penn State has that level of expectation. The Nittany Lions last year reached the college football playoff semifinal, had a second half lead against Notre Dame. Outside of some mistakes from Drew Aller, it might have been an all Big Ten title game between Ohio State and Penn State. And can Drew Aller take yet another leap in 2025? That is part of the promise of Penn State this year. So much returning talent in State College. Drew Aller, along with OC Andy Kotelnicki, both of his top running backs, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. How about on the other side? Key defensive pieces like Zane Durant and Deni Dennis Sutton. And in the back end, guys like Zakee Wheatley, one of the best defensive backs in the country. Penn State is absolutely loaded, and they should be in contention for a Big Ten championship once again. Let's not forget, it wasn't the Buckeyes, it was the Nittany Lions and the Ducks squaring off in Indianapolis in early December for that Big Ten crown. Oregon in its first year in the league, undefeated, a perfect 13-0 with a Big Ten title to boot, and were the top seed in the CFP before being ousted in its lone game in the Rose Bowl by the eventual national champs in Ohio State. The Buckeyes, Nittany Lions, and Ducks all expected to get back to the college football playoff. But just because Penn State is first in the preseason poll does not mean Penn State is the favorite to win a Big Ten championship. That is Ohio State. Probably has the 2 best players in the league in Columbus. Wide receiver star Jeremiah Smith, who is a Heisman favorite as a wide receiver. And on the other side, Caleb Downs. And yet, Ohio State has so many questions returning this year, namely at the quarterback position. Julian Sayin, more than likely that starting signal caller for Ryan Day and company. But a new defensive coordinator in Columbus. Their former one, Jim Knowles, now in Happy Valley with Penn State. So who enters the fold? Matt Patricia? Yeah, that Matt Patricia now calling the plays defensively for Ohio State. Oregon breaking in a new quarterback, Dante Moore, the UCLA transfer that had experience during his lone year in Westwood, sat behind Dylan Gabriel a year ago. Michigan has the easiest Big Ten schedule. If Sharon Moore and the Wolverines, breaking in a new quarterback, more than likely Bryce Underwood as well, do not win 9 games and sail over their win total of 8.5, bad year in Ann Arbor. USC has a lot to prove under Lincoln Riley. A great start to the Lincoln Riley era. Not so great the last few years. Iowa is consistent. Nebraska always has optimism. And you better keep your eye on Illinois a 42-1 price. The schedule manageable for Brett Bielema and company, who bring back so much talent as well, including a couple of guys that will speak today in Las Vegas. Luke Altmaier and one of the best O-linemen in the conference in J.C. Davis. So much to come from college football this week. The early line returns tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.